Small talk about the weather somehow ended with a surprise engagement.
Okay, I just want everyone to know, I was literally only talking about clouds.
I went to the gym single and came back apparently engaged to my colleague.
Inspired by the kind of story you'd find on Reddit, today we have a tale that begins with small talk about the weather, takes a very sharp left turn on a treadmill, and somehow ends with a woman thinking she has a fiancé. Welcome to English Through Stories. I'm Oliver.
I'm Jake, and I just want to say up front, small talk is dangerous. Like, genuinely, I believe talking about the weather can ruin your entire life.
I'm Sophie and I am the proof. I was there. This happened to me. I went to the gym a normal woman and came out apparently engaged to a complete stranger.
Right, so let us set the scene. It is a Tuesday morning in January. Sophie has decided to start the new year properly, gym, healthy habits, the full resolution package. The weather outside is, by all accounts, absolutely miserable.
It was brass monkeys out there, honestly. Freezing cold, grey sky, the kind of morning where you step outside and instantly regret every decision you've ever made. But I thought, no, I'm going to the gym. New me.
And this is where I come in. So I'm already at the gym, right? I'm on the treadmill next to Sophie. We're acquaintances, like we've chatted a few times. And I look out the big gym window, and honestly, the weather is grim. It's overcast, like totally gray and cloudy, no sun anywhere.
Overcast, that's a useful word. When the sky is completely covered by clouds and there's no sunlight getting through, we say it's overcast. A very common word in English weather conversation, and, as it turns out, the word that started this entire disaster.
So I lean over to Sophie and I go, and I'm just making friendly conversation here. Total innocent small talk. I go, bit overcast today, isn't it? Classic. Harmless. Or so I thought.
And I say, yes, it's dead miserable out, isn't it? And then Jake says the thing.
Okay, so in my defense, I was out of breath because I'd been running, and I was trying to be funny, and I said, weather like this, you just want someone to come home to, right? Which is a normal thing to say. That's just a thing people say.
It is not a normal thing to say to someone you barely know while they're on a treadmill, Jake.
Now, under normal circumstances, this exchange would have ended there. A bit awkward, perhaps. But here is where fate and a set of wireless earphones intervened. At this precise moment, the woman on the treadmill on the other side of Jake, who had one earbud out and had apparently been half listening, turned and looked at Jake with very wide eyes.
And I didn't even notice her at first. I'm still jogging, still talking to Sophie, and then I feel like this presence, I turn and there's this woman, let's just call her the woman, and she's looking at me like I've just said something incredible.
She had completely misheard. She thought Jake had said, and I cannot stress enough how wrong this is, she thought he'd said, weather like this, you just want someone to come home to you, right? Like directed at her. Like a question, like an offer.
A subtle but catastrophic difference.
And before I can say anything, she goes, that's so sweet. And she smiles at me. And I'm like, wait, what's happening? But I'm also still running, so I'm a bit confused and out of breath, and I just kind of smile back, which was the wrong move.
The worst move, because then she turns her treadmill down, slows to a walk, and she goes, it really has been a harsh winter, hasn't it? And she's fully making eye contact with Jake like they're in a romantic film.
A harsh winter, when the cold weather is particularly severe and difficult, biting winds, heavy frost, the kind of winter that feels like a personal attack, we call it harsh. And yes, she was using it as weather small talk, but also clearly as flirting.
It had been a harsh winter, like objectively, so I agree. I go, yeah, really harsh, the cold has been relentless. Relentless, that means it just keeps going, it doesn't let up. Like the frost every morning, it's just relentless. Anyway, I'm agreeing about the weather because the weather is genuinely bad, not because I'm flirting.
She thought he was flirting. I could see it happening in real time and I couldn't stop it. I was like watching a car crash in slow motion while also jogging at 7 kilometers an hour.
Oliver narrates, the conversation on those 3 treadmills continued, Jake oblivious, the woman increasingly charmed, Sophie increasingly horrified. They talked about the forecast, another useful weather word. The forecast is the prediction of what the weather will be like in the coming days. You check the forecast to see if it will rain.
She asked if I'd seen the forecast for the weekend, and I said yeah, it looks like it's going to be a cold snap. A cold snap is when the temperature suddenly drops really fast for a few days, like a snap, quick and sharp. And she goes, "Oh, I hate a cold snap. I always feel so lonely when it's like that." And she's still doing the eyes at me.
Jake did not pick up on this.
I thought she was just being friendly. People at the gym are friendly, that's a thing.
She mentioned being lonely twice more in the next 4 minutes, Jake. Twice.
Oliver, dryly, Jake, it seems, has the emotional awareness of a dumbbell.
That is fair, actually. That is completely fair.
So the three of them finish their treadmill sessions within a few minutes of each other. They move to the stretching area. The woman, still very much engaged in conversation with Jake, mentions that the gym feels warm compared to outside, which leads to a discussion about the temperature dropping.
She said it was absolutely bitter out there this morning. Bitter cold, that's when the cold isn't just cold, it's sharp, it almost hurts, it gets into your bones. Bitter. And Jake actually goes, "Yeah, bitter cold like this, you need someone to keep you warm." I nearly fell off the mat.
It is an expression. People say that. It's just a saying. I didn't mean, I wasn't implying, I was just talking about the weather.
She put her hand on his arm, Jake.
Yeah, okay, that's when I started to realize something had gone wrong.
Something had indeed gone catastrophically wrong, because at this point the woman looked at Jake with what Sophie describes as, and I quote, "the most hopeful expression I have ever seen on a human face," and said, "Are you seeing anyone?"
And Jake, because Jake is Jake, panics, and instead of just saying yes or no like a normal person, he looks at me. He looks directly at me, and I see it happening. I see the idea form in his tiny, chaotic brain.
I panicked. I needed a way out, and Sophie was right there, and I thought if I just implied we were together, then the whole thing would sort itself out naturally, and no one would get hurt.
He pointed at me and said, "Actually, me and Sophie are pretty serious. Pretty serious. We are colleagues, Oliver. We work in the same office. We have never been on a date." I once told him his lunch smelled bad.
Oliver, perfectly measured. And how did the woman respond to this revelation?
She looked at me, then at Jake, then back at me, and she goes, dead sweet, "Oh, how lovely. How long have you two been together?" And I'm standing there holding a foam roller like, what do I say?
And I jump in, I go, "About a year." A year, I don't know why I said a year, it just came out.
He said a year, and then she goes, "Oh, so are you thinking about the next step?" Meaning like moving in together, obviously. Normal question. And Jake, I will never forgive him for this, Jake goes, "Actually, I've been thinking about popping the question."
The gym fell silent. Well, not literally. There was still music playing and someone was dropping weights in the corner. But in that little stretching area, the air changed.
I don't know why I said it. I think I thought it would make the story more convincing. And she seemed so invested, and I didn't want her to feel bad, and look, it made sense in the moment.
It made no sense whatsoever. None, because now this woman is looking at me with actual tears forming in her eyes going, "That is so romantic. Especially in this miserable weather, a proposal would be just beautiful." And then she hugs me. She hugs me, Oliver. A stranger hugged me because she thinks I'm about to get engaged.
She mentions, by the way, that the gray skies and drizzle being very light, fine rain, the kind that isn't quite heavy enough to use an umbrella, but still gets you completely wet. She says the drizzle outside makes indoor romance feel even more special.
It was drizzling. She wasn't wrong about the drizzle. That part was accurate weather reporting.
I do not care about the accuracy of the drizzle, Jake.
Oliver, gently, perhaps we should hear how this concluded.
Right, so she asks where Jake is thinking of proposing, and I'm trying to give Jake a look like end this now, but Jake is not reading the look.
I was panicking. When I panic, I stop being able to read faces. It's a whole thing.
He starts describing a proposal plan. A full plan, he says, and I quote, "I was thinking maybe a winter walk, when it's crisp. Crisp, that's when the air is cold but dry and clear and clean feeling, not harsh or bitter, just fresh and sharp. A crisp winter morning."
A crisp morning is genuinely romantic. That part I stand by.
He said crisp morning walk, maybe when there's a bit of a thaw. A thaw is when the temperature rises just enough that the ice and frost start to melt, like the world warming up a little. He said a thaw would be nice, symbolically. He used the word symbolically, Oliver.
Oliver admiringly, I must say, for a man in full panic, that is quite poetic.
Thank you, see Sophie.
No, not see Sophie, because now this woman has got out her phone and she's showing us proposal locations in our city. She's Googled romantic spots during the thaw. She is invested in our fake relationship, Jake.
This went on by Sophie's account for a further 12 minutes. The woman, genuinely lovely by all accounts, just very enthusiastic, discussed venues, ring styles, and whether a proposal in changeable weather, that is, whether that keeps shifting between sunny and rainy, unpredictable, whether changeable weather was a risk for an outdoor proposal.
She made a really good point about changeable weather being a risk, honestly. Like if you plan an outdoor thing and then it just starts pouring, that's a problem. She said have a backup plan, which is solid advice.
I cannot believe you are reflecting positively on this experience.
I'm just saying she gave good tips.
Eventually I said we had to go because we had work, which is true, we do work together. That bit wasn't a lie. And as we were leaving she grabbed my arm and she went, I'm going to do her voice, she went, I hope he does it soon, love. Don't let the cold snap last forever. And she winked at Jake.
A cold snap, listeners will recall, is a sudden short period of very cold weather. In this context, however, it appears to have been deployed as a metaphor for a long engagement.
Which is honestly a beautiful use of weather vocabulary.
I went home, sat on my sofa and stared at the wall for 20 minutes. I was engaged, Oliver, briefly, to Jake, because of a treadmill.
And the moral of the story, if there is one, and I'm not entirely sure there is, seems to be that whether small talk, that most innocent and British of social rituals, contains hidden depths, or at least hidden hazards, especially when Jake is involved.
In my defense, I was just commenting on the weather being overcast. That's all I did. I mentioned it was overcast. How does that end in a proposal?
I see her at the gym sometimes now. She always gives me this look, this hopeful, expectant look like she's waiting for the news. I've started going at a different time. I go when it's dead early and proper bitter outside, like 6 in the morning, just to avoid her.
So, to summarize, an overcast January morning, a harsh winter, some drizzle, a crisp walk fantasy, a thaw used as romantic symbolism, and one woman who still believes Sophie is engaged, all from small talk about the weather.
Weather small talk is genuinely a minefield, and I think more people need to know this.
The forecast for Jake's social life is changeable, with a chance of causing chaos.
And that is where we leave today's story. Somewhere between the drizzle and the thaw, 2 colleagues and one very hopeful stranger.
If this made you laugh or cringe or both at the same time, honestly same, drop us a like. It genuinely helps the channel so much.
And follow us so you never miss another story like this one. There's a new one every week and they're dead good, I promise.
Subscribe to English Through Stories, new episodes every week, and every one of them is a genuine English lesson hiding inside something far too relatable.
See you on the next one, and please, for the love of everything, be careful what you say on the treadmill. Drop us a like.
Hit follow and never miss a story.
Subscribe to English Through Stories. Find us on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. See you on the next episode.